Hello everybody, GL1 here, and today I'm going to talk about Return of the Jedi Toys, the 3.75-inch fellas and ladies. Alright, so the movie opens up with our Jabba the Hutt's lair, and here is the 1998 Jabba the Hutt. And as you can see, he's cute. And I actually have a couple of these. I got an extra one in case something happened to this one. And you could open them up. And the reason for that is Jabba came with this slime. So there's Jabba slime here. And this is my son colored that. And there would be this slime. And then Jabba would eat these little froggy-like creatures. And you could put the creatures in slime. And here's what happens when you have the slime since 1998 and just leave it inside the container. It dries out, and so it becomes solid. But these little fellas would be swimming in slime, and then Jabba would grab them, and then you could shove them and the slime into his mouth, you see. And then you could get them out after. So what fun that is, right? To do that and get your slime and your little creatures in there. And, you know, Jabba was enamored with Princess Leia and gave her a whole new outfit. And, you know, I think this is the best outfit she ever had. You know, I think this is, but not good in the icy cold of space. But she definitely got in really good shape because this actually, the toy looks a lot like how she looked. So that's the figure, and it's got a little flexible hair here, and so it's pretty cool. And so you can, you know, she was chained to him in the movie. And when you entered into Jabba the Hutt's lair, some of the first characters you met were these Gamorreans. I never liked the Gamorreans because they really did look like just big rubber suits. They didn't look realistic, and you know, you kind of have to have two because, you know, as Luke's going through, there's going to be two guards. And so at some point I got two. And, you know, I think it's interesting that they're called Gamorreans. They're green. And then in Star Trek, there was a green lizard character in the old Star Trek called a Gorn. And then you have the turtle character, Gamera. And then you have in Guardians of the Galaxy, the girl who's green, and her name is Gamora. And so these are Gamorreans. So seems like somebody was using, you know, it seems like it probably all started with the turtle, Gamera, who was green. That would be the oldest character. So that is, you know, your little adventure there with Jabba the Hutt. And of course you had Luke coming in, all dressed. Get this bone out of his hand. I'll tell you what that's about in a second. All svelte and black and everything. He's got a lightsaber and he's all confident that he's a Jedi, and he's trying to use his Jedi mind tricks on Jabba the Hutt so he will let Han Solo go. And, you know, Jabba's, Jedi mind tricks won't work on me. So they didn't. And so he dropped Luke down into a pit. Because Luke, I don't know, he was standing on a grating that could open. And was Luke doing it purposely, or was he just kind of dumb? In any case, he ended up falling into this pit. And here there was the Rancor. Now this is the 1980 Rancor. So there's some advantages. I have the newer one too. I have the 98 Rancor. But I'm going to show you the difference between the two. Because this Luke came with the the 98 Rancor. So the old Rancor, it's a harder plastic, because that's the kind of plastic they had back then and used for toys. It's got some lateral shoulder articulation, which is really cool, and you can turn the wrists. I mean, you can get some really good expression out of him. There's like I think he's held. He's got those heavy rubber bands in there, and he's got a mouth that opens, and he can move his legs, and he's got a lever back here, just kind of like Jurassic Park toys, And this is 13 years before Jurassic Park, 1980. So, but you pull that lever and the mouth opens, and someone had taken a Han Solo and shoved it inside there. So my wife saw this at a flea market, and there was something rattling around inside him. And shaking and shaking and shaking, and finally out came 1977 Han Solo. So I would never have had 77 Solo without 1980 Rancor. So someone had shoved this guy, inside there so hard that he ate him all right. And then they probably couldn't get him out. But I'm very tenacious. So you can see on this, he's got ears. And he's got all these, spines and detail. And what happened here is there was a rubber toy that was up against this and that amalgamated the plastic. It melted and put an imprint on it. So you can't put real rubber up against plastic. The chemicals will mix together there. And so while Luke was fighting the Rancor, Rancor was going to bite him at one point, and he shoved the bone. He found a bone in the pit, put it into his mouth, and the Rancor was like, "Oh my God, no one's ever done that. It hurts." And then he bit and crushed the bone. Now, it won't fit in here because this goes to the newer Rancor, which is just as cute. Here we go. And like the guy, when the Rancor got killed in the movie, and his little trainer was crying, I think we all felt a little sad for the Rancor. He's just doing his thing, And so he does have wrists that turn. And, they added, a little chain thing. So, he's got, you can take him for a walk, right? And you can't shove anything in his mouth and get it stuck in there. And you can't really even get the bone in there. So, but anyway, he's squishy. So he's a squishy plastic, which is great. His shoulders do not have any lateral motion. They're just like, 1980 articulation. He's just got the 4 points of articulation. So I really like that the older Rancor has the mouth that moves, the lateral articulation. But I guess, they're like, well, hey, look, you're getting squishy plastic. So it's very heavy feeling. And you can see it's kind of like got a carapace like an insect. And let's see, take a look. You can look at the difference. And you can see the newer Rancor is larger, with more texturing and paint details. Although the texturing's not that it's just different texturing. I mean, you could see he's got more spikes on his shoulder. This guy does not. But, aren't they both, they're really both great. I couldn't say which one's really better because in a way, this one, with the older one with more articulation is kind of, you can really put him in more poses. You can see that the ears are different. You can see that he's really just got kind of like a hole there on the ear. And then this guy has sort of like a pig ear, and he even has an earring. He's styling, He only has it on the one ear, too. Like he chose, just one. Okay, just one. And look at their teeth, huh? It's got some snaggly teeth there, and maybe a little gingivitis, Well, so that's Rancor. And moving on. So some guy I kept forgetting to show you, because I could have put it in the first episode on Star Wars A New Hope, is Admiral Akbar. So I have Admiral Akbar from 97, and here he is, with just slightly more, slightly more articulation than 1977, because he's got a waist twist. Better paint, though, and flexible plastic. So that's kind of cool. So he's a fish guy. He's an admiral, but he looks like like a squid, right? An octopus or a squid. And they're really smart. So, octopi are really something. And here is the 2010 Akbar. So 13 years later, take a look at this guy. Now, he's got some really great articulation. First of all, he's got like a pointer stick, a laser pointer probably for his presentation. And He's got lateral articulation in the shoulder. He's got the elbow that moves in different directions. He's got the hips that move around because, Admiral Akbar, he's such an active guy. I don't know how much, you're going to have to really create some kind of backstory and adventure if you're going to play with Admiral Akbar. He's got knees. What's unique about these knees is that you don't see the joint when they're straight, when his legs are straight. So that's kind of a neat feature. And look, he's holding his tablet. And I think best of all is his head articulation. I mean, it is like a squid octopus head that really just floats around. It's like they sewed the head onto a humanoid body, right? And maybe they did. I mean, it's Star Wars. Who knows, right? All right, so that's Admiral Akbar. And we have our 1997 Emperor Palpatine, and he was gray. And if you'll notice in the Black Series, for the 6-inch scale, Emperor Palpatine, he's kind of pinkish skin. And I like the gray. Now, I think there is a cane that came with him, and I do think it is findable. I just don't know where I put it, but I do think I have not lost it completely. So, all right, so there's Emperor Palpatine, and, not as bad looking as he got later, that's for sure. He got really scary looking. All right, now, they were sending out bounty hunters after Han Solo, and here they are. Now, our most famous bounty hunter is Boba Fett. So here's 1995 Boba Fett. And I don't know where the accessories are. But here we go. This is Boba Fett. There's a thing that went on his back, like his jetpack. I might have even seen it and just didn't know what it was. But anyway, for some reason, everybody loves Boba Fett. So, okay, there he is, 95 Boba Fett. This Boba Fett is cooler, and he came with a couple of guns that I guess I also put somewhere else, and some like rockets, like flames that you could stick onto the front here. But at least I kept this part together, his jetpack, and he does have, like, these are weapons that can fire. They're flamethrowers, really. And this is 2002 Boba Fett. So, 7 years later, Boba Fett. And you can see, he's got more of the damage to his kind of better looking, more realistic looking damage on his helmet, comparing the two. And look, even his little cape there has got some bullet holes in it, So people love Boba Fett. So that's one bounty hunter. And then we have a 1980 bounty hunter, Bosk bounty hunter. So now this is Empire Strikes Back era. But I just wanted to show all the bounty hunters together. So kind of like a Gorn from Star Trek, he's a lizard guy. Looks a little bit like the Gorn. And you can look that up, Gorn, Star Trek, and see, the head and everything is very similar. And then we have another bounty hunter, 98, Lak Sivrak. So basically, it's a werewolf. And not a whole lot of imagination there. But, all right. It's a werewolf, and he's a bounty hunter. And, it kind of makes sense because he's a dog for sniffing, right? And look, he's got that toenail in the back there. And then you got to watch out for that. It kicked backwards, right? Getcha. And we have a robot bounty hunter, IG-88 from 1980. And look at that guy. And look, he can turn his head. And who knows where he's looking? I mean, is that his nose? Who knows? All right. And then look at that. You got a little bit of articulation there. And famous for falling over very easily. That's what I think this action figure is really good. It's good for... There we go. Got him to stand up. And we have another couple guys left. Now, this is a bounty hunter. Garindan 97. And I looked him up. The gun that he has is really big for his size. But, all right, look, he's like an elephant with steampunk glasses. You know, it's like somebody had steampunk glasses around and they had an elephant mask and they said, you know what, let's put that together. He's a bounty hunter. Now, this guy is bounty hunter adjacent. He saved a bounty hunter. I don't have the guy he saved. Remember when, this is 1997, Ponda Baba. Remember when Luke was in the cantina with Ben Kenobi, and then the guy's like, I'm wanted, and 12 systems, you be careful. This guy was with that other guy. And what else can you say? Testicle chin, right? I mean, that's what everybody's thinking when you look at him. And, Ponda Baba, we just never got to really know you very well. Well, we have an R2-D2. We have a 98 R2-D2. I mean, there's so many R2-D2s. But here's a 98 R2-D2, and here's what's cool about it. You can push that down, and then you push this, and look, it pops up, and that's his little periscope. And there's a tool that went in there, and I guess it fell out. I don't know how, because this one's really hard to take out. But there's a couple of tools that you can put in, and, he could plug into the Death Star, right, and try to save everybody, making all his squeaks and things like that. And towards the end of the movie, right, everybody is partying with the Ewoks, and these are from 1998. Here's a couple of Ewoks, and I never thought they were that cute. I thought they were kind of creepy. I didn't like their eyes. Even when I was a kid, I didn't really like them. And my friend, who I'm doing all these Star Wars shows for, who, is now seeing them. Look, he's a leader. Look how tall he is, right? You can tell he's, it's like taller people go further ahead. They say that. And look, it's the same with the Ewok culture, too. It's just not fair. But anyway, she thought they were creepy, too. So, maybe you think they're cute. And, they are cuter as toys. I will have to go along with that idea. So, as usual, they kill something and it's got bones and they wear it as a hat. So why not? And then he's got his bad juju stick there, with some spine and maybe pelvis pieces, and looks like some horns. So, all right, so that is the Empire Strikes Back collection. And again, I will do shows with the ships. But right now, I just wanted to show you the figures that I had and how they relate to the movies. So thanks for watching, and I'll be talking to you very soon. Take care.